All right, so for this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to do the prairie stitch. So here's a little sample swatch of it here. It has a really great texture for one row and then a nice line to separate it. It's super easy, just a combo of half double crochets and single crochets. So let's work it together. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm using a worsted weight acrylic yarn with a 5.5 millimeter hook. You're not required to use this yarn hook combo. You can use what you're comfortable with or what your project calls for. To start the prairie stitch, we do a slip knot, and then our foundation chain is going to be an even amount of chains. So however long or short you want your project, as long as it's an even number, it will work. I'm going to work 20 and I will meet you at the end and show you how to work row 1. So that's my 20th chain. Your foundation chain is going to look like this. When working row 1, for me, I don't like to work into the top of the stitch for my first row because I find that working into the top of the stitch, it doesn't give you a very nice edge. So my personal preference is to turn the work over like this, and I like to work into that singular back bar. So just this bar right here, those are the bars I like to work in for just my first row. So for round 1 or row 1 of the prairie stitch, we are going to skip our first chain and we're going to work a single crochet into our second. So we're going to insert our hook, then we will yarn over and pull up a loop, then we will yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on our hook. So that's a single crochet, and you're going to work single crochets into every single stitch across the row, and I will meet you at the end to show you how to finish it off. So here I am, just finishing up my last of my single crochets. So for round 1 or row 1, you are just going to finish it off with a single crochet. So you just essentially made 1 row of single crochets for row 1, and this is what it will look like so far. To work row 2, we are going to start with a chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. So this chain 2 counts as a half double crochet. So we're not going to work into this stitch here, we're going to work into the second stitch. And we're going to work 2 half double crochets into that same stitch there. So not our first one here, but into our second one. In a half double crochet, we yarn over, we insert our hook, we yarn over to pull up a loop, and this is going to leave us 3 on our hook, and then we will yarn over and pull through all 3. And then you're going to work a second half double crochet into that same stitch. So again, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And then this is going to be repeated across the rest of the row. We will skip a stitch, and into the following, we will work 2 half double crochets. And once you reach the end of the row, I will meet you there, and I will show you how to finish it off. So I am just finishing up my last half double crochet cluster here, and once you've finished that, you're going to be left with 1 stitch remaining, and into your final stitch you're going to work 1 half double crochet, and that's how you finish off row 2. And you're going to have something that looks like this. So you can see the half double crochet clusters that you made all the way across the row. For row 3, we are going to chain 1. This does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn our work. So this is the chain 1 that we worked right here. So we're going to work into our first stitch, and we're going to work a single crochet. And then you're going to work single crochets across the entire row. I just want to show you something here. When you work a half double crochet, it almost leaves 3 bars that you can work through. So there's your first bar, then you have your 2 bars at the top. So make sure when you're working single crochets across this row that you're rotating your work a little bit and you're working it into the top of the stitch. So under both of these bars, and we're going to leave this bar alone. So when you work the single crochet, insert it up there and finish it off, and then work them all the way across this row, and I'll show you how to finish row 3. Just finishing up the row right now, and like I said, you're just going to work single crochets all the way across. And then you see here, this is your half double crochets, and this is the top of the chain 2 that you did. So we counted that as a half double crochet, so make sure you work a single crochet there when you're coming back around. And that's the end of row 3. So working that row of single crochets leaves you with this really beautiful line here, so it adds a little bit of like a cool textured line, and you can still see your half double crochet clusters. And that is all there is to the prairie stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 for your desired length, and then it is done. That's all you need to do. I will show you a bigger swatch here. So here I am just finishing up my final single crochet to show you guys the bigger swatch. So when you have a couple rows done of the repeat, you can really see that beautiful half double crochet cluster and the beautiful lines that putting the single crochet on top gives you. So that is the prairie stitch. I hope this tutorial helped you guys.